This week's Confidence Picks coming your way here on the channel. I'm Steve Deace alongside Aaron McIntyre. We host Bigger 10 each week right here on the channel, and then we turn around the very next day and give you our Confidence Picks on every Big 10 game each and every week. So, Aaron, let's have some updated standings and see who should actually be confident in their picks as things stand right now.
So last week, we both missed on 3 games. You did gain on me, though. You were right on Michigan, Wisconsin, Ohio State, Minnesota, Iowa, Rutgers, Maryland, Syracuse, Indiana, and Washington. Missed like everybody else did. Northwest. Oh my! We didn't even talk about Northwestern.
I mean,
yesterday.
what a brutal showing that was.
I'm a little bit concerned for
a winless FCS team.
Yeah.
That's the first time that's ever happened in Big Ten history, by the way. Yeah.
I mean, I'm a little concerned for Fitzgerald now. Right. No, I'm not. But if I were him, I might be a little concerned. Auburn over Penn State. You picked at number 3, and then Nebraska over Oklahoma, the big upset. Wisely put that at 1. I missed, of course, on Northwestern. Purdue was really the rubber game for us. If Purdue doesn't melt down, I would have extended my lead, and then I also missed on my upset call, SMU over Maryland. So you gained 5 points on me this week. I still lead, though, with 233. I'm sorry, you gained 4 points on me. 233 to 228. I still lead. So we'll get into this week's picks.
So in 1 week, I cut your lead in half.
Yep.
And now that we're into conference play, there will be much more variance in the outcomes.
Yep.
All right, so this is how I rated them this week. I've got Purdue coming home to bounce back against Florida Atlantic, who is horrible. All right, I've got Illinois next against Chattanooga. They're about a top 15 program in the FCS, but I think Illinois has earned enough respect to assume they'll just get it done in workmanlike fashion. I like Penn State to come home and dispatch Central Michigan, but it is a bit of a sandwich spot. I don't think they'll name the score, but I don't think they'll ever be threatened either. My 6-point game this week, I'm going to take Ohio State over Wisconsin. I just think it's a terrible matchup for the Badgers, and I think Ohio State is looking for an opportunity here to make a statement. My 5-point game is Michigan over Maryland. Now, the Wolverines have just absolutely annihilated the Terps since Jim Harbaugh took over. But I do wonder about the massive step up in competition. And remember, if Maryland, punches them in the mouth early, Michigan was rarely behind last year for an entire season. So, and a lot of these same players are back. They haven't had to play from behind a lot. So that'll be fascinating to watch. And that's really some respect for Maryland. I think they're an improved team as well. I'm going to go with Cincinnati over Indiana. I should probably have it higher, but I don't know. I'm just not big on non-Power 5 teams, even when they're really good, laying big numbers against Power 5 teams. I think that really is an insult to the Power 5 team. I bet you we'll get Indiana's best game this week. I have no idea how good their best game is, though. My 3-point game this week is Iowa over Rutgers, only because, man, I don't know, who gets the sack strip safety, to swing momentum here. Someone's winning this game 14-10. 21-14. I'm going to guess it's Iowa over Rutgers, but the thing with Schiano is he likes to play in a parking lot too, just like Kirk Ferentz does. So that'll be fascinating. My 2-point game is Michigan State over Minnesota. I think Sparty comes home and bounces back against the Gophers, and I think the loss of Chris Ottman-Bell takes some of the pressure off of that persistently and rightfully beleaguered Sparty secondary. And my 1-point game this week is Northwestern over Miami of Ohio. I don't know. I don't have a clue where the Northwestern program is at. I mean, whatever magic dust they use there in Dublin is apparently out. But a lot of guys are out for Miami of Ohio, so I don't know. I'll take Northwestern, I guess, just as a Big Ten homer.
We do have a few disagreements in terms of sides and placement. I have Illinois over Chattanooga as my highest rated play this weekend. I think Chattanooga's okay, but I trust Illinois a little bit more. I've got Michigan over Maryland. Iowa. Iowa played Maryland again on the road, and I would overall agree Maryland has improved. But they played Maryland on the road last year. Didn't have that much of a pass rush, although I do think they got a few sacks, but didn't have a consistent pass rush, I should say, and still walked all over them. This is going to be the best by far defense and most athletic secondary and backer core that Maryland has seen, and we'll see. Really, it's not a question so much to me as whether the overall team has improved, whether it's Tagovailoa who has improved, their quarterback. So I've got Michigan pretty confident in them. Purdue over FAU, agree that FAU is, I mean, I was watching FAU for a little bit in the first weather delay of Iowa's game last Saturday, and
not good.
They are trash.
They're not good, yeah.
Penn State over Central Michigan, kind of similar analysis to what you have, a kind of a letdown spot after a big on-the-road win last weekend, and looking ahead to Big Ten play as well, so should be a pretty routine win for them. A little bit more confident in Cincinnati over Indiana. Indiana has had a lot of things go their way in the two major, close wins that they've had so far this year against Illinois and against Western Kentucky as well. So I don't know if that luck runs out here, and I think it will. I mean, Cincinnati, last I checked, as you mentioned, 17.5-point favorite. That's a massive number. So I don't know if they cover that, but I do think they get it done pretty convincingly over Indiana. Ohio State over Wisconsin, a little less confident than you are. I still believe Wisconsin is good. I don't think they have any chance or any business winning in Columbus, but I'm not as confident as you. I think they could. You know, I always go back to that. I think it was the 2018 or maybe 2017 Big Ten title game where they kept it really close, and it looked like they actually had a shot to beat Ohio State in that first half. But I could see something like that happening. But in the second half, I think Ohio State takes over. And then I've got Minnesota over Michigan State.
There's a 5-point swing there. Yeah.
Chris Ottman-Bell, huge loss. He's the type of receiver who, if they're hitting their stride and they really need to pick on some cornerback, he can kind of take over the game. Mm-hmm. Missing that is kind of a big deal. I still really like what I've seen out of Minnesota. I think they're ready for the next challenge, or their really first challenge this year. And Michigan State, I'm sure there will be some improvement in that secondary, but I still think they can rely on their running game. Minnesota can. So I've got them at the 3 spot. 2 spot, I've got Iowa over Rutgers. I don't know if you saw this. This kind of broke while we were taping this a few minutes ago. They actually have a new trophy for the Iowa Rutgers series. It's Adam Korsick and their Rutgers punter and Torrey Taylor kicking each other in the nuts simultaneously.
This is the greatest punt battle in the history of college football here. Yeah.
I still think Iowa, Rutgers has some major question marks at quarterback. Iowa, they're supposed to sell this game out. It's at night, but Iowa is not necessarily a defense you want to play when you've got questions at quarterback. Number 1, like you, I've got Northwestern over Miami of Ohio. I don't know, man. I don't know. Northwestern just has looked putrid the last couple of weeks.
I think they just committed another turnover right here as we were taping.
So I obviously that is my least confident pick, but I just can't in good conscience pick a lower level MAC team over a Big Ten team at this point.
So we only disagree on one, but we have variations and points on a few others that if those blow up on us could determine where the lead is heading into next week. So there you have it with this week's confidence picks from both Aaron and I. We'll be back again right here on the channel next week.